I could tell that he wanted the enthusiasm and the passion and the excitement that I bring to conversation. He was curious about what the source of my energy was, but he wanted nothing to do with it. Okay? And so the prose was like limited for me because my vision of what I want to have in a partner and where I want to go is going to be a lot more than sex and, if I'm attracted, because that used to work back in the day. It used to be like, wow, that person is hot and they look really good aesthetically. But when you had a conversation, it's like, wow, you really are just pretty. That's it.
Women are beasts of insecurity, Billy. It's all about want, want, want. And if you give them everything you have to give, they learn to want what you can't give. That's why you withhold. It keeps them wanting what you have to offer. You want to keep a woman wanting. You want her to love you forever. Treat her lousy. Withhold. Keep her miserable. Love is finite. Only misery lasts forever. Vicious.
Said he respected my boundaries, really enjoyed the fact that I had faith, even though his was much more open-ended, and of course accepting, because that's the new thing. Offense now has trumped anybody standing up for what they really believe in, because the weaklings, they can't handle it, and that's biblical. It does say that for the people that are weak, that cannot handle you drinking in front of them or eating meat, or they stand for a cause and they need to dig their heels in and they need to make sure that they're that activist instead of just accepting everybody. It calls the Christian to be that much more mature and allow them their weakness, because the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. And that's not being mean. It's just, it crosses every single line, especially in the dating field now. So that was allowing me to see that he's not really interested in the walk I have with Christ, which means it's not going to go very well.
Trying again.
Excuse me?
Elaine's right. You're taking one last shot with a Disney.
The thing is, I just get this sense that underneath it all, you're a woman who prioritizes, sex. And despite my apparent shortcomings, I think things would net out for you.
Puke.
Fits. You may be a really great guy. And it may be true that I should take the time to discover whether or not you are a really great guy. But I'm not going to take that time. I never want to see you again. Ever.
Yep. Time always reveals a person's character, because you have to have many conversations to get to know somebody. And if the other person isn't really giving you anything, what we do when we don't have a lot of words is we create stories to fill in the gaps. Usually they're negative. It's always going to be, well, he did this, so that must mean this. And then we're going to bounce it off a girlfriend, and she's going to be like, well, yeah, just give him a chance. There are no chances here, okay? You don't want to have sex before marriage, just lay it out like that. And he shouldn't be trying to rub up on you and try to see, were you sure about what you said? Okay, you're done. You get to say, I don't like what I'm feeling in here, because eventually I'm going to have to talk about NASCAR, and it's really not of interest to me. And I think it's great that it's an interest of you. But here is where I'm going to allow you the freedom to be offended, to think whatever you want about me, and I'm going to allow you to walk out the door. And no judgment. Because I heard somebody recently say, if you dislike somebody, you don't need to make everybody join your calls.
You don't know the first thing about first base.
Oh, well, I know something about getting to first base. And I know you'll never be there.
I mean, I figured I've already been there. I plan on rounding second tonight at around 11 o'clock.
Well, I'd watch the third base coach if I were you, because I don't think he's waving you in. I guess